Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Big news for you from Somalia, where it seems that Somalia and Egypt have decided to stop Ethiopia from sending more soldiers into Somalia. They have decided to stop Ethiopia from sending more weapons into Somalia. It is being reported by an Emirati a news source based in the UAE, United Arab Emirates. UAE is seen as an Ethiopian ally in the ongoing Ethiopia-Somalia confrontation over the MOU signed by Ethiopia in January to gain access to sea through Somaliland in return for recognizing Somaliland as a country. So, what is this news source reporting? Let's analyze, let's have a look at the report. Well, the news source firstly says that Ethiopia is expanding its military presence in Somalia, though Somalia has made it clear that all Ethiopian troops will have to leave Somalia. Sorry, uh, by the end of this year. Somalia says that if Ethiopia does not withdraw from the MOU with Somaliland, Ethiopian troops after 2024 will be seen as aggressors in Somalia and action will be taken against them. Are Ethiopian troops withdrawing? We saw a few units withdraw from Somalia, from Heran, I think, a few weeks ago. But I think Ethiopia is sending more soldiers than withdrawing from Somalia. In several videos, if you remember, in several videos, I told you that heavy mobilization of ENDF is being noticed in the Somali region of Ethiopia, and Ethiopian military convoys are entering Somalia. New convoys of Ethiopian military equipped with heavy weapons have been seen entering Somalia. I mentioned that in several videos. And this new deployment of Ethiopian military started after Egypt sent arms to Somalia's government. I told you about the attempt by Ethiopian military to take over airstrips and airports in Gaidu in southwest state, which was later confirmed. The Emirati news source claims that in recent weeks, Ethiopia has sent around 7,000 additional troops to Somalia, not in consultation with Somalia's government. Somalia's government is opposed to the deployment of new Ethiopian military units. It wants Ethiopian troops to leave Somalia, but either in consultation with regional governments in Somalia or without any consultation, Ethiopia is sending more troops into Somalia. 7,000 added in the last few weeks, according to this source. Now, the total number of Ethiopian troops is around 22,000 in Somalia. While Ethiopia is beefing up its military presence in Somalia instead of withdrawing from Somalia, what is Somalia doing? Well, what is being reported by this source is that Somalia now wants to block the supply routes of the Ethiopian military. Supply routes from Ethiopia to Somalia. It means that Somalia will have to deploy its military right on Ethiopia-Somalia border, Somalia-Ethiopia border, on Somalia side of the border. This is what this news source is claiming. It says that in recent weeks, especially last week, Somalia sent additional troops to those federal member states, regional states, which share border with Ethiopia. And Somalia wants to deploy federal forces right on border, on Somalia-Ethiopia border, to cut off the link to cut off the supply routes of Ethiopian military from Ethiopia to Somalia. Interestingly, the news source claims that Emirati military advisors are supporting Somalia's military. Somalia denies the presence of, not Emirati, Egyptian, sorry. Egyptian military advisors are supporting Somalia's military. Somalia denies the presence of Egyptian boots on the ground at Somalia. It says that Somalia has received weapons from Egypt, but there is no Egyptian military on the ground in Somalia. But unofficial sources say that Egyptian commandos, Egyptian military advisors, and some officers are in Somalia. They are building Egyptian military mission in Somalia because Egypt will be the main contributor of troops to Somalia's new peacekeeping mission, which will take over in January. So just 2 months remaining. It means that Egyptian military advisors are already in Somalia making preparations for takeover. Of course, they'll have to arrive early. They cannot just arrive in January. In January, they'll take over the entire mission. Preparations underway. Egypt building its military mission in Somalia. Its military advisors already here. Its commandos already here. So we can say that maybe a few hundred are here. Now, these Egyptian military advisors are accompanying and supporting the Somalia's forces, which are being deployed to Somalia Ethiopia border. This is what is being claimed by the news source, Emirati news source. Now, my analysis, which I want to share with you, is that it would be very difficult for Somalia's federal government to man the entire Somalia Ethiopia. The bordering regional states of Somalia are on good terms with Ethiopia. Ethiopian troops were protecting these regional states from Al Shabaab. Just a few days ago, we heard about fighting in southwestern between Ethiopian military and Al Shabaab fighters. If there's no Ethiopian military, Al Shabaab will be a serious threat to the regional states of Somalia. Regional states rely on the presence of Ethiopian military. Ethiopian military is in control of border. If it's in control of airports, airstrips in southwest in Gaidu, you can imagine who will be controlling the border crossing. Ethiopia is controlling the border crossing. I am not aware of large-scale deployment of federal forces of Somalia on Somalia-Ethiopia border. I'm not aware of that, but this news source is making this claim. So we'll have to work on it. We'll have to wait. Again, I think Somalia cannot secure its entire border with Ethiopia through deployment of its military, through deployment of federal forces and Egyptian forces. Egyptian forces will never like to be deployed publicly to Ethiopian border. There could be discreet operations of some Egyptian military advisors, but Egypt, I don't think, will make direct deployment of its military to Somalia, Ethiopia border. Overall, escalation on the cards. If Ethiopia does not withdraw troops from Somalia, if Ethiopia continues sending more troops into Somalia, Somalia won't sit idle. It will kick Ethiopian troops out of Somalia, no matter what the cost is, it seems. Thank you for watching.